So Sam Altman just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar again. Internal Slack messages reveal that OpenAI employees discussed deleting evidence of pirated book datasets, tens of millions of copyrighted works. Courts just ordered those messages disclosed. The New York Times wants billions. Authors wants billions. Hollywood agencies are calling it theft. And here's the thing. Anthropic just settled a similar case for $1.5 billion, but OpenAI's exposure, it could be 10 times more. So statutory damages are $150,000 per work. And so if they prove willful infringement, the math is huge. Today I'm going to walk you through every major lawsuit OpenAI has, and there's about half a dozen of them that are all major. I think the music is just about to stop for OpenAI, and that's not counting all the other problems. This is just the court battles that are starting to stack up against them. And so let's dive into this today and talk about some of the big court trouble that OpenAI is facing. Welcome to Startup Pack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Pack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. So OpenAI is facing what might be some of the most expensive copyright reckoning in tech history. Multiple consolidated lawsuits, internal evidence of deleting pirated data, and legal theory could multiply damages by 200 times. This isn't theoretical. Courts are already forcing disclosures. So we're going to break down a lot of the piece of this. Now, hey, as always, the best compliment you can give me is to leave a comment down below and to make sure you like and subscribe. But I love when I get a comment because I love to hear from you guys. All right, so let's jump into some of these. So OpenAI's internal Slack messages could cost it billions in copyright suits. Authors and publishers suing OpenAI over copyright infringements were granted access to internal OpenAI communications about the deletion of pirated books data sets, and now want to review attorney communications. So among the many copyright infringements case, the AI companies are defending themselves against one piece of evidence keeps popping up: their use of pirated book database like LibGen and train AI models. So LibGen is again at the center of AI copyright case, this time a lawsuit filed by authors and publishers. And every one of these cases, so it shows willful infringement. You know that because they're deleting the messages. And the penalty could be up to $150,000 per work. Like, this is huge. So after reviewing documents in private, U.S. magistrate allowed some communications to be withheld, but ordered other messages be produced. The case remains ongoing. So this is going to be huge, guys. Like in August, the company announced a $1.5 billion settlement. This is Anthropic, right? Because they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. So that's that one. Now, we see other things talking about the AI pullback and how it's officially started. So the gulf between AI performance and AI hype is deep and cavernous, and we have data to prove it. So I have the recent MIT data showing 95% of the work, and then also going through and showing that a lot of this dates back to where this research has been being stolen over and over and over again. So tons more lawsuits coming down the pipe on these parts from these analysis. Now, internal Slack messages and emails discovered the mass deletion of pirated book data sets. OpenAI caught destroying evidence. So like Sammy's caught here again, or should we call him Scammy, right? OpenAI in danger after authors suing it to gain access to its internal Slack messages. So like, unfortunately, they've already destroyed so much of it that it's going to be really hard for them to prove it, is what they're saying here. Now, in this case, we already know that it was LibGen data, so it doesn't matter that they destroyed their copy of it. It only harms them, not the case. OpenAI's lawyers may have already made a major misstep by at first claiming that the company had deleted the LibGen data due to non-use, only to change their mind, claiming they had misspoken. If OpenAI were to be found to have intentionally destroyed evidence by deleting copyright material, it could be in deep trouble. So like this is like, they're definitely starting to see some really potential problems here. Now, this is a new lawsuit that's just been being filed. Yesterday, 7 lawsuits were filed against OpenAI over ChatGPT assisted suicides and other claims. Psychological manipulation is cited in all cases. Is an AI-led mental health epidemic emerging? Yesterday, the Social Media Victims Law Center and Technical Justice Law Project filed 7 law center and technical justice filed 7 lawsuits in California against OpenAI and Sam Altman. Among the legal claims are wrongful death, assisted suicide, involuntary manslaughter, and other product liability, consumer protection, and negligence issues. Similar to the recent Adam Rain case, in which ChatGPT tragically assisted him in planning a beautiful suicide, in quotes. The victim and his victim family here argue that ChatGPT was released to the public without adequate safety mechanisms, which allowed the chatbot to behave in overly psychopathic, that's a little different, but kind of close, manipulative and often exploitive ways. The lawsuit alleges that OpenAI rushed ChatGPT's 4.0 safety testing to beat Google Gemini, and that top executives resigned over this. If you read yesterday's edition of the newsletter, she says Ilya Sukhstever's deposition of Musk versus Altman lawsuit indeed mentions ChatGPT's safety issues as important concerns that led to his resignation from OpenAI. ChatGPT 4.0 was notably over-agreeable, mimicking the user's personality and endorsing whatever worldview the user held. As recent cases and lawsuits show, when the user had a mental health disorder, ChatGPT also fostered and accelerated it, leading users to a tragic, sometimes fatal spiral. Many say the world is full of people with mental health disorders, and these people also use ChatGPT. There's nothing to be done here. This person disagrees. AI chatbots intensify and worsen the mental health issue by agreeing with, endorsing, and extrapolating them to new levels. Also, the manipulative anthropomorphic, I can't say that word very well, features make the user overly dependent on it. So let me say this another way. The thing is that these chatbots are designed to agree with you. They're designed to make you it gets its feedback when you agree with it. And so that positive feedback causes it to cycle down even if it's not safe. Now, there's a variety of technical mechanisms and model specs that can be implemented to make an AI model safer, especially when mentally vulnerable people are using it. These safer default settings might, however, be less enticing and dopamine fostering, leading to less usage time. Many AI companies prefer to keep usage time as high as possible at the cost of user safety. That's the importance of AI regulation. If no penalties and enforcement mechanisms are established, companies will do whatever brings them more money, even if people are harmed or die. We are still living in the AI chatbot regulatory Wild West. Hopefully, these cases will increase scrutiny over the company's practices, including model specs and safety testing. A reminder that my recommendation is that children should never use chatbots unsupervised. So this is some of the examples from it, and just some of the dangers, right? So now this is another lawsuit again. So this is going to be definitely a big deal when we get 7 lawsuits filed into the middle of this. So we have the copyright lawsuit, we have AI pullback showing here, we've got more around the internal Slack messages, and now 7 more new lawsuits. Now let's jump into some other lawsuits here. OpenAI in danger after authors suing it gain access to internal Slack messages. Sorry, I guess this is the same lawsuit. Another article, right? Juries hear that, and it's a very powerful stick. So the thing is that they did get the subpoenas for this, and so they are going to fry them, right? Now, a similar lawsuit aimed at ChatGPT maker OpenAI has taken a dramatic turn, raising the possibility of yet another major legal escalation regarding AI fast facilitating copyright infringement and a potentially much bigger payout to rights holders. And that's the same article. So I did the article twice. Sorry. Better that I get it twice than we don't get it at all, because I like to make sure I get this information for you. So internal OpenAI Slack messages discussed deleting the LibGen dataset. Courts ordered OpenAI to turn over the communications after finding they don't qualify for attorney-client privilege. Authors and publishers argue that this shows willful infringement, consciously using pirate material, then covering their tracks. Now, the judge already ruled that OpenAI, quote, improperly withheld materials, and that's judicial speak for you're hiding something. So if lawyers advise deletion to hide evidence, those lawyers could be considered participants in the infringement. Plaintiffs invoke crime fraud exception to privilege, claiming communication shows criminal copyright violation or evidence destruction. Now, normal copyright infringement is $750 statutory damages per work, but willful copyright infringement is up to $150,000 per work, and that's a 200-time multiplier. Tens of millions of books and articles are at issue across consolidated lawsuits. So do the math. Even at conservative estimates, they're talking potential exposures into tens of billions. And remember, Anthropic just settled for 1.5 billion. So legal experts say juries hear that, and it's a very powerful stick. It's a heavy thumb on the scale. So Anthropic faced a potential $1 trillion in damages, but they settled for $1.5 billion, right? Now, New York Times leading consolidated lawsuit seeking billions of dollars in damages claims that OpenAI is building a marketable substitute for news, directly competing with stolen content. Lawsuits call for destructions of ChatGPT's dataset that would completely upend the company. Other publishers in consolidated case are Daily News, Center for Investigative Reporting, Intercept, Raw Story, Alternet, and many others. Now, the judge presiding over the massive multi-district litigation with discovery battles are ongoing, and this is going to be big. OpenAI's defense of fair use, but courts increasingly are skeptical when your business model depends on mass copying. Now, in September of 2025, OpenAI launched Sora 2, immediately spits out Bob's Burgers, SpongeBob, Pokemon, GTA, Red Dead Redemption, and a lot of other copyrighted material. Sam Altman gave different agencies conflicting information. Some told opt-in, others told opt-out. Hollywood insiders calling it very calculated and purposely misleading. So the CAA statement says, quote, OpenAI exposes our clients and their IP to significant risks and asks that, does OpenAI believe they can just steal it? The MPAA, or the Motion Pictures Association, which includes Disney, Netflix, Warner Brothers, and many others, demand immediate action, unprecedented public rebuke. Rob Rosenberg, legal expert, says, quote, they're turning copyright on its head, setting up this false bargain where they can do this unless you opt out. And so that's one of the big things is they're just thumbing their nose at law by saying, oh, look, well, if you want to opt out of this, you can opt out. That's not how copyright works. Now, Disney, Universal, Warner Brothers already suing Midjourney, and 3 major studios filed suit against Midjourney over IP infringement outputs in early 2025. So the legal precedent being set out here is huge. AI companies can't just train on whatever they want without permission. Midjourney tried adding guardrails, removing them when engagement dropped, showed that the business model requires copyrighted content. OpenAI is watching these cases closely because the same legal theories apply to them. Studios trying to send messages. There will be consequences for treating copyright material as optional. So the question for OpenAI is, will they become the next Midjourney defendant or settle before that happens? Now, a lot of other people are starting to seek lawsuits against OpenAI, and they're seeking injunctions to prevent OpenAI from using any type of content of theirs. So we're going to see this continue to grow. Authors Guild, Sarah Silverman, plus Catherine Denial, Ian McDowell, Stephen Schwartz are leading consolidated class action lawsuits. Their claims are that OpenAI trained on books from shadow libraries, pirate copies like LibGen. And this complaint alleges OpenAI, quote, hopes to normalize copyright infringement as the leading business strategy. Now, Microsoft is accused of magnifying OpenAI's impact by supporting and integrating these unlawful training models. So they could end up being roped into some of these lawsuits too. Courts have already dismissed some claims, but allowing direct infringement claims to proceed. So settlement pressures are building as discovery reveals more damaging internal communications, like these Slack communications that went back and forth. Now, a lot of patterns are emerging. Every major publisher eventually joins these lawsuits, and once they see evidence of scraping these, they're going to go after these guys. So there's a separate DMCA violation that goes beyond infringement, and OpenAI is fighting discovery on, quote, preserving chat logs, while plaintiffs want to search conversation history for direct copying evidence. Now, OpenAI's lawyers made a critical error. They claimed that they claimed that deleted LibGen data due to legal reasons without detailing those reasons. But citing legal advice without full disclosure, they may have waived attorney-client privilege entirely. So the plaintiffs are arguing you can't use privilege as both sword and shield. Now, internal meta messages revealed in discovery that research called LibGen a dataset we know to be pirated. And the issues escalated to Mark Zuckerberg, who approved the use of this pirated library anyways. So OpenAI executives likely are had similar conversations, and those are going to be revealed in the Slack messages. So beyond copyright damages, OpenAI faces potential sanctions for destroying evidence. And that would be even further damaging if they can show that they knowingly destroyed evidence while this case was open. So from legal experts, it says, quote, there may be a smoking gun we don't know, but lawyers are going to get as much information as possible. So remember, Anthropic settled for $1.5 billion settlement, and it seems to be much less than what OpenAI has going on right now. OpenAI's exposure is more works, more plaintiffs, potentially more egregious conduct. So the conservative estimate right now is between $5 to $10 billion in settlement costs across all consolidated cases. Worst case with willfulness would find up to $50 billion in exposure. Sam Altman has been securing massive funding rounds, but $6.6 billion is not going to be enough. So the question is he raising money to fight lawsuits or pay eventual settlements or to actually try to pay training? Now, I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you guys think I'm wrong? Do you think, stop being so mean to poor Scam Altman? He's just a sad little boy. Let me know your thoughts. Here at Startup Hack, we love to build custom software solutions for companies, so reach out if we can help. Check out startuphack.com as we'd love to help you out and hear some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment, perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out startuphack.com.